I know what time of year this is. During this time of year, everyone's energy just shifts. It's like we forget that just 1 week ago, we were depressingly stuffing our faces in cake, cookies, and other things that your doctor specifically told you to consume in moderate fashion. But no, January 1st, our mindset just magically transforms into this positive ray of energy. The old self-deprecating ways in which we used to view ourselves just like 3 days before are no longer valid somehow. Our brain just starts following this inspiring trajectory that sounds something along the lines of, this is my year. No, dude, seriously, I'm for real this time. This year is my year. And then you'll go on to list an array of wonderfully crafted dreams and goals that you'll forget about just 2 weeks later. And in fact, I'm not just saying this for the sake of saying it. Papers back this up. In a paper that was published in the late 80s, 200 individuals were asked to meticulously track their New Year's resolutions progress. The results were pretty crazy. Only 77% of these individuals managed to maintain their pledge for 1 week, and only 19% of those 200 individuals were able to maintain their New Year's resolutions for those 2 years. And man, if we look at that 19% now, we think it's a high number. That was in the late 80s. Right now, that number isn't even close to 19%. I don't even think it's above 10%. So every year, it's the same story. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then halfway through January, we already forget what we said we wanted to do. So why? Why do we do this? Is it because we're simply more infatuated with the end goal rather than the process of actually getting there? Is it simply because we're just too lazy? Or is it because we're just humans and that life's game is just to make our simple aspirations be difficult to conquer? How does that make sense? I mean, if every single one of us actually managed to master the art of doing what we set out to do, we'd be invincible. Students would be studying 10 hours a day like they told themselves they would the night before. Henry Ford's prediction that we'd have flying cars by now would actually be correct. And all of us would look like bodybuilders hovering over at 6% body fat, with the rest being muscle. The harsh reality is that us humans are humans. In case you guys didn't know. We're the definition of imperfect. It's just that social media and these addictive devices have completely engulfed us into this false perception of reality, and we've fallen for it. Social media is actually one of the biggest factors contributing to depression, anxiety, and ironically, loneliness. I mean, maybe it's just become the norm that we can't do what we set out to do because we just can't focus on ourselves. We keep focusing on other people and what they think. You can't focus on getting better while you're just on your phone all the time, checking what Jennifer from primary school is up to, or if Zachary from freshman year got drafted to the Heat yet.
He didn't get drafted.
So while it's difficult for everybody, including me, to make their resolutions come true or just achieve their goals in any way, we can try and implement strategies in order to make the likelihood of our dreams come true. And I've boiled it down to 3. The first one is visualization. And when I say this, I don't mean the manifest, oh my God, get it out there, visualize it. I don't mean it like that. Manifesting is not a reliable path to follow, in my opinion, because it relies on motivation and how you feel that day. If you wake up hungover from the night before because you drank 6 bottles of whiskey, chances are you're not gonna be getting up, facing the mirror and saying, I'm gonna conquer today. Today is my day. You're not gonna do that, right? So just why set yourself up for failure? When I say visualization, when I say visualize, I mean find a place where you physically write down what it is that you wanna do so that you can get back to it and be reminded almost, right? If you wanna have a journal, if you wanna write a piece of paper and sticking it on your closet like a crazy psychopath like me, do it. If it's gonna remind you every day of what it is that you wanna do and your path to getting there, do it. Visualize it, write it down. Chances are that if you write that goal down, it'll come true. There's this study, I'm sure there's a study out there that says if you write things down, you're 72.6% chance higher of getting successful, right? Unless your dog just storms in your room and just eats the shit out of that paper. I mean, then, you know, it's gone. The second thing is obviously to plan. Have a plan. You write your goal down, but if you have no plan to follow it, you're just not gonna, I wanna become a millionaire. You can't just expect to wake up the next day and like, okay, you need to know what you want to do. You need to break the big into the small, into the more doable, right? Like, we're humans. We have a lot of time, a lot of days at our disposal, but we have to make sure that we make the most out of those days. You know, it's like the gym, right? You don't just say, I want to get big, and then the next day you lift 4,000 bicep curls and you're big. You need to make a plan. Like, I want to drop 1 pound every week, track my calories, you work out total times a week, you do chest and back one day, you You space it out, and it's the same thing with any goal. The trap that we can't fall under though when we make these goals is to not make our daily schedule too ambiguous, too rigorous. If I just write down everything that I want to do within the hour and I don't space out my breaks, it's not going to be maintainable. It won't be a plan that you can pursue for the long haul, you know? He's right. It's important to be realistic with this plan and to make sure that every day you go back to it. That's the beauty of plans, is that they are not ever in the final form. You can always take things out, adjust, manipulate. The trick of planning it is that you can give yourself the chance to actually do that. Whereas if you don't plan, you're just, oh yeah, I was supposed to, work out today, and I just woke up and I was hungover, and I didn't work out, so I guess, I'll wait till 2022 to do that now, I guess. The third thing is time blocks. And the reason I say time blocks instead of the cliche motivation is because motivation fluctuates. Hence the reason why all these inspired people that we used to be on January 1st somehow magically transformed into the miserable selves that they used to be by January 15th. If you set time blocks for the activities that will actually help you achieve your goal, you'll have no choice but to follow that schedule. You don't do the activities because you're working towards your goal, or because you're disciplined, you're in the grind, or because you're motivated. You run through the motions. You do the activity because that's what the time block says. If I set my study block to be from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. every day, I will be studying from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. every day because it's a routine. The goal is to make a routine. I have no choice. And remember that with time blocks, you have to be smart about how you set them. Like, be realistic. Don't just say, I'm gonna study every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. because we both know that won't happen. If you really want something to work, you're gonna have to actually put yourself out there in order to make it work. It's gonna have to come from within, which is what I'm trying to do with this YouTube channel. The thing is that you can't just decide you want something because you see other people doing it, or because you think it'll make you feel better when you attain it. It doesn't work that way. Most goals or challenges that are worth pursuing take time. Ultimately, change comes through perseverance, motivation, but most importantly, discipline. But we all know that. The bigger question then becomes, are you willing to do it? Is this year really your year? Hey, really quickly before you go, I would just like to quickly thank you for having watched till the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna try and post something like this once a week. Subscribing really does help my channel. If you also, while you're at it, like the video, that'd also be really helpful. But yeah, if you guys do subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll see you guys in the next one.